did kind of a quick version of this on the initial kind of getting started session, and we're going to do this again over the shoulder every step of the way. We're going to do one full video today, every single step of the way, all the way through, and we're going to publish that. And then I have the other videos ready to go. It's going to be the same process. So I'm going to repeat it here again today, all of the steps right here. So what we want to have ultimately is 5 videos. 5 videos that we're going to use. So we picked those keywords. We picked our 5 keywords. Well, each video is going to be one keyword essentially. We're going to use some tools that you see right here. Today I'm going to use Video Sparker AI, and I'm going to use Lumen 5. And I'm actually going to use a free version of Lumen 5, so you can see that I can do everything here with a free version of Lumen 5. And then we're going to publish that video to YouTube. And then we're going to do all these things and go over any questions you have alongside this, okay? All right, we ready to just roll right into that?
Let me check the chat here. I'm trying to help somebody with something with GoTo, but no, everything looks good.
Okay, so because here's what we're looking for. Let me show you what we're ultimately looking for. All right, these are the keywords I went after, right? So first one is this is kind of just a secondary, because I'm really going after Carlsbad ADU construction quotes, but the words Carlsbad ADU construction is in there, right? So Carlsbad ADU construction quotes. You can see, look at that. There's that video I did in the pregame. That was just 4 days ago. Actually, when I checked this, I think I checked this on like 48 hours after I posted it, and it was just showing here. I can even take the quotation marks out of this, okay? And I'll just remind you guys, a reminder, if I want to see how many exact match results it has, I put it in quotation marks, and I click this button here that says Tools. And right now, we have 1 result. Before, it was 0 because I didn't have anything there, but I put this video up there, now we have 1 result. But even if I remove these quotation marks, we can see that this video is right here at top of page 1. So that is what we're aiming for in this validation step. Within 2 to 3 days, roughly, we want to see that some of these videos are showing up on Google, okay? Because if we see that, it is a green light. We have been green lit. I've been told now, Google has basically signaled to me that this niche, this city, this whole thing is what I'm about to do with this asset and roll it out is wide open for me. So now I've already claimed it. I've already claimed it with 1 video, and I'm just going to keep claiming it today with the other 4 keywords. So let's do one right now. Anybody have a question about that too? If not, I'm going to start rolling through, okay? Because here's my digital asset organizer. Because ultimately, what you want to have filled out is you want to have, these random parts filled out. Like I've got my keywords, and that's from that early stage, right? And then I've got a domain name, I've got a subdomain that I can use. I've got all these things. I've set up my email, a phone number, I've got a placeholder address. Everything's ready to rock now, okay? That's what I was saying, like that first part, really, once you do that, everything is like, you're gonna notice that I'm just gonna keep coming back and copying and pasting stuff from here, from my digital asset organizer. That's really all I'm gonna be doing from this point. So let's go over to Spark2 AI, and we're gonna use the Video Sparker AI. Okay, I already have a tab open here. All we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting these pieces in place. So let's put in let's figure out what keyword am I gonna do here. Okay, I'm gonna go after this custom ADU construction Carlsbad. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Video Sparker, and I'm gonna put in accessory dwelling unit builders as my kind of industry area. Okay, I'm gonna put Carlsbad, and then I'm gonna put in that, this is the keyword, custom ADU construction, Carlsbad. And then I'm gonna put all my other keywords in there, comma separated, just to have them all in there. All right, I'm gonna paste these right here. Okay, and then I need to put the website address, which is this right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna tell you a little hack that I've started using that it's only taught here. All right, this is something I added. I've started adding on my my asset organizer, because I could put all my prospect lists once I start building those up, links to them down here. But I've started putting the call to action up here so I can quickly copy and paste it anytime I need. But then next to that, I have a note, because Sparks AI uses AI. And this is a note to the AI, because sometimes the AI will try to like organize my video with like, they'll start saying slide number 1, slide number 2, slide number 3. Well, I put in that, I just put this note, okay? Do not include slide numbers, just write out unnumbered paragraphs, okay? Because that makes it easier, so I don't have to do a lot, because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to re-edit it later. So I just copy all this, okay? Go back to VideoSparker, and I paste that even with those instructions, that note, because the AI will see this note and will recognize it as a separate note. I put that in there, okay? And I'm gonna click next. Okay, and then I'm gonna hit next again. And then we're gonna wait, 30 seconds to as much as a couple minutes, because it's gotta compile all this stuff and figure out what to do with it. But in that, while we're waiting, what questions do you see coming in, Dan, or what do you wanna add here?
Let's see, questions. There's a question here from Timothy saying, did you change your 5 keywords from the ones you came up with a few days ago?
Did I change my keywords?
Yeah, your 5 keywords from the ones you came up with.
No, they're still the same. I think I added one. I added one since then. That's it. But everything, all this is exactly the same as I did when in the Get Started. The only one I added was affordable ADU builders Carlsbad, and that's really only for the case of putting it in the for the videos.
Got it. And then there was another question a little bit ago from Winnie. When you were going through it, they were asking, so we need 2 domains?
You need one. Yes, you will need 2 domains, but one of the domains you can reuse over and over and over again.
Perfect. And then another one said, let's see, Alana said, I'm a bit confused. Is our main site the catch-all?
No. Okay. Man, this is where we always get tripped up here. Okay. We always do. I've made charts. I've made everything for this. That's okay. That's okay. That's what we're here for. Okay. So I want you to understand an asset is a sum of these parts. Your main site is a site that has the actual city name in it. That's the site. That's your main money site. AtlantaAffordableRoofRepair.com is the main money site. In the example you see right here, right? I will also own a domain that let's just pretend I have owned HomeImprovementPros.com for 10 years now. And I've got 100 different sites on there. I've got a site in Frisco, Texas for plumbers. I got FriscoPlumbers.FastHomeImprovementPros.com, which is a 1-page mini site for Frisco plumbers, right? I've got another site in Miami, Florida for HVAC repair. It's called MiamiHVAC.FastHomeImprovementPros.com. And that's a 1-page money site there. I've got another site in Oklahoma City for garage door repair, called Garage Door Oklahoma City.FastHomeImprovementPros.com. This is a catch-all domain that I just reuse over and over and over again for anything in this related to this. Okay, I might have another catch-all domain I use for medical people called Medical Expert Pros.com, okay, where I have orthodontist Dallas.medicalexpertpros.com, and I might have chiropractors Irvine.medicalexpertpros.com on that. Okay, that is a 1-page mini site, and that's a catch-all domain that I use over and over and over again for that. I want you to think of that catch-all as your own personal Amazon S3. Because just like you put a mini site on Amazon S3, a 1-page little mini site on an Amazon S3 bucket, your catch-all is your own personally owned Amazon S3 that you reuse over and over again. Does that make sense? Does that explain it better?
Yeah, Timothy's asking, instead of fasthomecontractor.com, could it be something for more vague like homeownersparadise.com?
Absolutely. 100%. That's just an example I'm giving. Like, just make sure it's not irrelevant, right? Don't call it clowncircus.com and then put a dentist on there, okay?
Or sexy man alive, sexiest man alive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sexybigasshose.net and put, a house painter on there. Like it has to be at least not irrelevant. Does that make sense? Just somewhat, at least in the vicinity. In the vicinity. Okay, yeah, but you could do homeownerparadise.com. And you could be just as though it's not, totally out of the question of irrelevance. Okay, we good?
Yep. And then there was the YouTube question too, saying, do we need 5 different YouTube accounts, or are we
We'll get
setting
there.
up 5 channels? Okay, cool.
You do want 5 channels, just like I said in the pregame. Have 5 channels. Okay.
Perfect.
All right, let's go through this now. So the video sparker is done. We've got everything outlined here. This is great. This is actually perfect. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go over here to Lumen 5. Okay, so we're going to go to Lumen 5 next. Okay, I already have other videos ready to go. So one of these is this is the one I already published earlier, the last time you guys were watching this. And then I got some that are kind of ready to go, but we're going to create this one from scratch. And I'm going to show you a different way to do it than we did this one. Okay, this is actually my favorite way to do it because I think it just comes out better most of the time for me. But first, I'm going to make sure I copy everything in this first box. Okay, this is my video outline. All right, I'm going to take that over here. And this is one I like to use a lot is Feather. Okay, so if you're looking for a template that works really well, Feather works really well. So I'm going to use this template. Okay. Then what I want to do is I want to do text on media. Okay. Last time we did the AI voiceover. This time let's do text on media. It's real easy. Make sure you select the paste text, and we're going to paste it all that right there. And you'll see 2 options: compose script. That's fine. That's going to truncate it down and shrink it down. If you want to do that, that's fine. I just like to skip it and use all the content because we already used AI to create the content we wanted. It'll kind of show me an outline of what each little video frame is going to be right here. All right, and this is great. This is good for me. And I'm going to go ahead and convert it to video. And we'll wait. This takes a minute or 2. So while we're waiting, I will answer that question about the YouTube channels. Yes, I think it's really really important to have 5 different YouTube channels, 1 for each video. And the thing is, though, you will reuse these channels again the next asset you build. You'll use these 5 channels again the next. So you don't have to do it for every asset. You just have to have 5 channels that you can use until you get to like roughly 30 to 50 videos on each channel. Then I start looking at making new channels to start spreading out more. The main reason for this is sometimes like the algorithm of YouTube just decides, oh, this channel we're going to cancel. I had one happen last week, and I appealed it and got the channel back, but it was for no reason. It was just like whatever. But if that goes down, I don't have all my videos on that one channel, so I don't lose all my rankings. I lost 1, and so I didn't lose everything over it. That's why I like to have 5 different channels, and you can put 5 YouTube channels under the same account if you want to. Okay. So I highly recommend that. Okay, looks like the video is ready. And one of the cool things we can do here is I don't like certain images or anything. I can look through here and drag and drop anything I want. I obviously check to see if it's free. If it says free there, I want to use it. So it's still kind of loading up. But usually this gets it pretty well. Sometimes it'll put like an image in there that doesn't make any sense. But let's give it a second to load there. Dan, do you have anything to add while it's loading? Because clearly it decided to freeze up here for a second.
Yeah, perfect. Somebody was asking, Elena was asking, do the catch-all domain have to have a website? Like you just set
You're
up
talking about the top level? The top level?
Yeah, the top level, yeah.
You can. We in Sparksio, you can actually host it in Sparksio and just put a coming soon page on there. You can put anything you want there. A lot of the time, I don't do anything, and they still rank because it's really we're just ranking the subdomain anyway. But sometimes if I feel like I have an extra 5 minutes, I'll go and put like sometimes just a little coming soon page or something generic on there. But you don't have to do anything. Like most of the time, I don't do anything. I like have like a page that like literally gives you a 404 error. Okay, on the top level. Could that be done better? Yeah, but I'm lazy. So I'm just letting you know it doesn't affect or impact your ability to rank those other sites. But pages.
For somebody like me, I have to put something on there. Yes. It doesn't have to be ranking or anything like that. It might be an image with, hey, this is the premier place to go if you're looking for blah, 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 blah. So, something AI can write for me in an image, and that's it.
Yep. Perfect.
But it's not necessary.
It is not necessary. Okay, so here's an example of me just changing. I'm going to use this like little, ocean, beach scene here and just put it on top of that. So it's going to change that. And then I'm gonna get rid of, just for this is the last slide here. I'm gonna get rid of that HTTPS because that's not really how people do things. Okay, so I'm just gonna make that all capital for the sake of this so it reads better. So Visas ADU Carlsbad. Okay, and then the other thing I do on Lumen 5 is I usually make the last two slides that have kind of the call to action. I make them a little longer, so I'm gonna make this like 6 seconds. And then I don't know why this is looking like a retirement home commercial right there. So, okay, I'm gonna change that to this. Okay, just kind of a landscape, the sky kind of thing. Okay, and then I'm gonna make this like this last one. We'll make this like 10 seconds. All right, and that looks good. It looks like we got just shy of 3-minute video here. That's great. That's fantastic. And then the last thing I do here is you can look through music tracks. I use these. Feel free to screenshot the ones I have starred here. These are the ones that I found unless it changes at some point, do not get flagged by YouTube. Okay. So I'm going to use this Lighthouse as one. It does not get flagged by YouTube when you get to that copyright check. So these are all, you're allowed to use any of these. But if YouTube flags it, sometimes it will just end up ghosting that video, even though YouTube says, oh, it's fine. We know this is a royalty-free thing, but it's fine. More times than not, I find when Google gives me that red X thing, and even if they say it's fine, they will like ghost that video. So I like it when it just gives me a nice green check mark in that section, and then I know I'm good to go. And I know that these that I've starred here have been tested and proven, at least up until this moment of that we're doing this today, that they work. Okay, so I'm using Lighthouse. So just there you go. That's another advantage of doing this with us, that we can show you what we know already works. And then I'm just going to hit publish. Okay. And this will take anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes for this thing to publish, and we'll be ready to go and drop this into a YouTube channel. All right. What other questions do you have coming in while we're waiting for this to render and publish?
Yeah, there was a question here. Let's see. There's one asking for, I don't know if I get this one. How do you get the address holder?
So we pick an address?
I guess that I didn't read it as that, but I guess that must be.
So we're going to go to Google, and I'm going to do Carlsbad, and I'm going to do Business Park. Okay. Well, here's one that's permanently closed. We can just use this address. Okay. But I'll just look at Business Park addresses, like where a bunch of businesses are already registered, because it's not unusual for Google to recognize that there are a lot of businesses here because it's a business park. So, you can do that. You can put business parks. So I would just do city business parks. And if you can't find anything, you can also look up just post office. All right, just find the generic post office. I prefer doing this, and I'll pick something that's already a business park, and that's what I used here. Right, I use this Faraday Avenue, Carlsbad. You could put a suite number if you want to. I just kind of leave it alone, but just pick a business park address, because Google is already used to seeing a lot of businesses located at this address, because it's a business park where they've got multiple things. You can also look up, like executive suites or things like that. It's just a placeholder to use until we get it leased out, and we can change that later if we want to. But to get, whoops, I didn't. Oh, okay, good. My video's done. Okay, cool. That's cool. I didn't know it just popped up like that. So I'm going to get rid of these little hash marks here. But there you go. That's how you get the address.
So Jesse's saying, what if there's no business parks in the area?
Look up the post office.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, well, it doesn't even have to be a business park per se, because like when I started my my marketing business, I had actually rented out the office that I used to use when I was doing mortgages. So I was in a mortgage office, and it was the building was owned by Ericsson, and but there was lots of other businesses in there. So people will sublease and rent out offices within an office. So it could just be an office building.
Totally. All right, let me explain something real quick. What I'm doing right now, I'm renaming the video my keyword. Okay, that's the video I just did. So I'm calling it custom ADU construction Carlsbad. No dashes, no hyphens, no underscores, just straight up write that, okay? I go on, finish your thought there, Dan. Sorry about that.
No worries. I was just reading something here.
Okay, cool. So let me show you. There's one more step I do because I'm using the free Lumen 5, okay? So this is the other little step we do. I'm on a Mac. I'm sure there's just as easy to do this on a PC or anything, but Mac just opens this up and click QuickTime Player. All right, so on QuickTime Player, I'm gonna hit Command T. That's for trim, because I want to get rid of this stupid made with Lumen 5 thing at the end there, okay?
Yeah,
so
and you don't have to use shortcuts. You can even just use in the menu up there where it says QuickTime Player. It's gonna probably be under Edit, but it's the same thing.
What you're gonna go is it'll give you this yellow box. You're just gonna drag the end all the way back to right there. Okay, and then I'm gonna hit trim, and then I need to save it again. Okay, so I'm gonna hit Command S. Well, I'm just giving you the shortcuts I use. Okay, and I'm just gonna literally overwrite it by replacing that one. And now I've got a correct video. So we're gonna do custom ADU construction Carlsbad. Okay, so Tony, Dan, what do you want to add here before I add this to a YouTube channel?
Add anything in there, you mean?
No, do you have any additional tips or questions you see that people are coming up with about this part of the process?
There was a question here about YouTube channels. John was saying, how do you choose the name of your YouTube channels? I was just about to say, honestly, we don't know. We just pull them out of thin air.
Yeah, this one here is just called Expert Review Guide. I mean, they're all just really generic. I have some that I in the past where I use sometimes that are more niche specific, but I find that I use my really super generic ones. It's like I have one called Business Growth. I got review, like Expert Guide or Expert Review Guide. I got like 3 different versions or variations of Expert Review Guide, right? I got like 3 different variations of Business Guides or Business Review Guide or Expert Review Guide, Growth Guide. I mean, it's just keep it generic. And you call it the local guide, the local, and the thing is, we'll talk about this in a moment, but when you create these channels, I think you saw in my initial thing, sometimes we'll ask you to verify it with the phone number. And I'll let Dan elaborate on that in a moment. But you can use there are a lot of virtual numbers or even burner numbers you can use if you've used up your maximum of your own cell phone number on Verify Anything, right, Dan?
Yeah, and you can use things like best local businesses. I mean, it can be pretty much anything you can think of. You can even ask AI to give you like 20 examples or 10 examples of something similar to that as a review kind of for local businesses. And it'll give you like a bunch of ideas. So yeah, we just pull them out of our butt, honestly, when it comes to the name of the channels. Did you say you wanted me to talk about the Verify or?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that right now. They actually saw that happen in the pregame part, but you had some insights from recent experience that you can share.
It's been a while since I had to verify one because I had so many of them already built out that I didn't really need to do them. And I remember when we were doing the coaching calls, I had a couple people say like, oh, I couldn't use Twilio to verify. It wouldn't let me because it was like voice VoIP number and a virtual number or something like that. And I don't really use Twilio, so I would know. But then so I was like, okay, well, every time I've tried on phone.com, using phone.com, it always worked. But it had been a while since I did it. So I did it yesterday just to see. And both doing forwarding the number to my cell phone did work. And also forwarding the SMS, so the text message to my cell phone also worked. So both those worked. And those are all virtual numbers. Those are all voice over internet numbers. So, and I think they pretty much pull all from the same places. Now, my hunch is that one of two things is happening if it's not working for some people using Twilio or something else. Either one, it could possibly be that because Twilio numbers are so cheap, maybe somebody bought that number already and recently like somebody, that was building a bunch of stuff had or offering as a service went and bought a bunch of virtual numbers, did the max verification with YouTube, which is 2. So twice a year, you can, so 2 YouTube channels a year, you could use the same number, whether it be your cell phone or virtual number or whatever. So maybe somebody bought like a block of 100 of them, built a bunch of accounts, and then canceled all the numbers so they didn't have to pay the next month. And now they ain't able to do it again. But I would assume it would give you some kind of warning saying this number's already been used. I'm not sure what they do or whatever. Or the other option too is that if you're forwarding it to your cell phone or it's going to your cell phone, I noticed that the first call came through, didn't go through because I had my phone preset to silence unknown callers. So I had to look at it and see that it was under my missed calls and it wasn't even like ringing or anything like that. So I had to turn that off in my settings on my iPhone. So that could be the possibilities.
And then you'll be able to you can do 2 verifications a year on the same number?
Yes.
Okay, so you'll be able to and the thing is like, it doesn't do it every single time. It doesn't do it every single time. It's kind of like, if you're doing it under, I think it's like if you're doing it under the same channel or the same like YouTube account, or I'm sorry, Google account, I don't know when it triggers to get the verification, but sometimes it doesn't do it at all.
Well, you can skip them a lot of times. The only time it forces that verification for me at least, has been only if you're trying to add it, you want to be able to add the text in the description or add a thumbnail
or with a URL.
15 minutes.
Or with a URL, right?
Yeah,
URL in the text. Yeah. Yes. So if it asks you to do it, just do it. And if it's holding you back, if it's like taking it to, just get rid of the hyperlink and come back to it later. Just plow through. I want, like, if there's nothing I can instill, is plow through and then come back and make a note. Say, I got to come back and verify that later if you need to. If it's not quick, that you can just do it real fast on the fly, plow through, move on. Okay, cool. You ready for me to load this video up?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to load this one first. Okay. All right. So we did that one video in the pregame in the kickstart. Okay. Now we're going to do this second video. So this will be video number 2 out of 5. And then we'll load the other 3 after that. Okay, so
quick. Sorry, I was going to say quick heads up. If there is a pop-up where you're uploading, we don't see that pop-up right now.
Well, you're about to do that. I haven't clicked it yet, Tony. Jesus Christ!
I'm ahead of you. I'm in the future. I'm a few hours ahead of you here in England.
Okay, all right. So let's do it at Tony speed. Move your cursor over. to the create button, okay, and then click upload videos. Okay, and I'm going to drag in this one right here. All right, I'm going to drag it in, and then a little thing I like to do so I don't actually do the same one again is I use that little thing to mark it red, so I know I've already added it. Okay, so now that's processing in there. Okay, now I need to go over here back into Video Sparker. Now I have this stuff right here. All right, this is my text for the YouTube description. So I'm going to copy all this right here, okay? And I'm going to paste that in the description box, okay? It's got everything I want in there. Great, right? And then here's the little settings that I always do. Yeah, you're going to say, yeah, it's not made for kids. Then, show more. All right, leave that unchecked. I mean, I don't really know what the hell this really means, okay? But, I just say no because I don't know what it means. So if I don't know what it means, I'm going to say no. All right. Allow that. Okay. I don't really care about all that stuff. I'm just going to move to the parts that I care about. Video location, Carlsbad, California. Okay. I find that it sometimes gives you a little nudge, just, geotagging the video. Okay. I don't care about any of this stuff if people want to do that. Category, most common category I use is people and blogs. You can do like how to and style if you want to, but people and blogs is a pretty easy one. I always turn comment moderation on hold all because, I don't really care to deal with anybody's comments. And then it's nobody's damn business of anything. So I just do that. Okay. It looks like we've already passed the checks. Okay. So look at that. So that song track I told you about gave me that nice green box. Go back over here to details. Okay. There we go. Sometimes they'll let me pick a thumbnail. Let's see if there's anything to like here. All right, I'll leave the one that's already there. That's fine. I don't really care. Okay, now we're gonna go to visibility. This is important. You want to click make it public. Don't do this Premiere nonsense. And before I publish it, I'm going to copy this link address right there, and I'm going to put it in here. Okay, so put a little dash, and then put that link right there. So I know that's my second video, and this is the one right here. And I kind of color code these. So this is just kind of my own like ridiculousness. I'll like make them blue or something, you know, to know that I've used it. All right, so that lets me know that I've published, you know, that keyword as a video already. And these are ones that I have videos ready, but haven't published them yet. Okay, so now I still haven't clicked publish yet. Now I'm going to click publish, and this thing is done. That's it. That's it. That's everything from start to finish of creating a video, like from scratch, all the way to publishing it. So I've got 3 more videos to do. Let's do them. Okay. Before I do them, any questions on that process? Because I'm just going to repeat that process of publishing the videos. You already saw how I created it twice now. I showed you 2 different ways of creating it. The first way in the Kickstart early one, I showed you how I did the AI voiceover, and this one I showed you how I like to do the text and music. But any questions about video creation or any of that, or anything related to getting these videos up? Yeah, go ahead.
There was one question here from Michelle saying, asking if we upload a bunch of videos at one time, will YouTube flag us?
No, I've done that before. It depends on, I guess, how many and how old the account is. If you do like 3 or 4, it's probably gonna be fine. I still recommend you do one video on a different channel. So I'm actually going to cycle these next 3 videos. I'm going to go and log into different YouTube channels, one for each.
I always like doing them one at a time, just so that way I don't get confused. When I used to do like 5 or 10 at a time, that's when I would start missing things and messing things up myself.
Yeah, like let me show you here. Let me get rid of that tab. Okay, so now I'm going to go over here to switch account. Okay, and I'm going to go over here to let's see. Look how many channels I have under this thing. I got a ton. Let's see. I'm going to pick one that makes sense. I have one called Business Review Guide. I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to do Business Review Guide next. Okay, and just so you know, you can see some of these videos I have like customization and stuff. You go to this customization thing, and that's how you can like change your branding if you want to do any of that stuff. I don't know if it makes any difference at all.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, I don't think it does. But I know some people have asked that in the past, like, oh, how do you
have a podcast or something? Sure. Or if you're doing like full-fledged YouTube stuff, sure.
Yeah. All right. So the next one, we're going to upload video for Carlsbad ADU financing. So let me find the Sparker for ADU financing. I think it's this one right here. No, it's this one, Carlsbad ADU financing. Okay, cool. All right, so that's this stuff right here. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Is this is the Video Sparker information for ADU financing. So I'm gonna drag that video in Carlsbad ADU financing, dragging that in. Remember, I like to give a little tag, make it red, so I know I've already done it. And then I need to go grab this text for the description. Obviously, the video title is already correct because I named the video that title. Another little thing I have done in the past, and Dan, I know you've done in the past as well, that I don't know if it makes a big difference, but it is kind of cool sometimes. Is you know what, I'm going to do it this time. What the hell? Is you can put the phone number in that title too. Okay.
It's been a long time since we've done that.
Yeah. I just put a little dash between it and put the phone number. Okay. Now, don't overdo this, but occasionally you can do that. It's kind of a nice little touch because
they do one of your videos, but not like all of them.
Yeah, I would recommend like doing about 1 out of 5, or don't go crazy with this. But it's kind of cool, like because that's a phone number that when somebody leases this or pays me for this, that phone number is going to redirect to them, and so it's just another way of kind of getting them phone calls without them having to click on anything, right?
I think we stopped doing it because we used to do it all the time for everything. And I think we stopped doing it because we were kind of like afraid because Google was like doing all kinds of things. And at the time we were like, well, maybe we shouldn't push it too much.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Don't overdo that. But doing it on one video is fine. And then if you find, oh, out of all my videos, that's the only one that's not showing up, well, then there you go. Okay.
Yeah, like every time. Like if you have like 5 videos you did that to and none of those are showing, but all the other ones are, then yeah, you know they don't like it.
Yep. Okay, say no on that. We're going to add the location, Carlsbad, California. Okay. People and blogs. Yeah, we're going to do comment moderation, hold all, and then unclick that. Click next. I'm okay with the thumbnail they got there. It's fine with me. Public. Oh, no. Public. See, I almost screwed it up right there. I almost like blew the whole thing. All right, copy link address, put it in my asset organizer. Boom. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and hit publish on that thing. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the next channel. What channel am I do next? I'm going to do, I think I have another expert review guide channel I'm going to use called The Expert Review Guide. Because this one, yeah, The Expert Review Guide. Totally different than Expert Review Guide because this is The Expert Review Guide. Okay, and again, there's the customization stuff if you want to do that. Okay, but you can see this one's not customized at all, and I don't care. It's doing just fine. So let's go ahead and hit create, upload videos. I can move that tab out of the way now. I don't need it anymore. Okay. And the next one is going to do backyard office, this one. Okay. So let's drag that right in there. And let me find the video sparker for that. Backyard office builders, Carlsbad. There we go. And I need to copy this description text. And I'm going to paste that in there. Okay, and we're just going to click the buttons we're supposed to click here. We have, say, age restriction advance. Yeah, okay, cool. Show more. So no. Put in the location, Carlsbad. And you do have the ability to like set up like default templating stuff if you want to, but that's up to you if you want to do that. Comment moderation, hold all, and then uncheck that. All right, now this time I worked ahead of, oh no, the check didn't come through right. All right, so here we go. Well, this is good. This is good. Okay. Here's what I do in this instance. Okay, so what is this keyword for? This is for backyard office builders, Carlsbad. Okay, I'm actually glad this came up because I'm going to show you, because when I see this, I do this. Bye-bye video. Dan hates that I do that, but that video is dead to me. It's dead to the world now. So here's what I do, because that was Carlsbad, or that was backyard office builders Carlsbad. Well, here's what's cool. Let me go in to Lumen 5. All right, so clearly I picked a track that is no longer friendly to me. All right, it used to be, but no longer is. So I don't want to use that track this time. So I'm going to go over here. Where's that? Man, I'm so forgetful. Backyard office builders Carlsbad. Okay, so we're looking for backyard office builders Carlsbad. There it is. All right, this is the video. I'm going to edit it. Okay. This is why you keep your stuff organized, because it's good. Yeah, it added 5 minutes to my time of dealing with this, but now you can see how to deal with this problem. Okay, so let it load up while it's in the editing mode, and I'm going to go right over here to music. And better days, well, it should be called worse days now, because I ain't using that anymore. I'm actually going to unstar that sucker. Okay, and then go back to my recent tracks. Well, we know Lighthouses work just fine, so. Go with what works. So I'm going to check that. There, okay, got Lighthouses selected. And I'm going to hit publish. Okay, we're going to let this thing republish.
Do you know if they changed? Did they change the where they don't allow it anymore, or is it that it's just asking you to verify that you have the rights?
The note on it said it was found. They found it. Like it's not a strike. So I want you to
Yeah.
understand that is not, it actually said in there, like, it's not a problem. But the fact that it gave me a red X, every time it'll say, oh, this is fine. It's fine. We're putting a red X there because we're to acknowledge that someone has claimed this music, right? But they're not claiming it against your video in any way. But they've claimed it. It's in our library, right? But what's weird is, even though they say it's not a problem, 9 times out of 10, that video will never freaking rank. But if I re-upload it with a different music track, oh, magical, all of a sudden it ranks. It's not, so it's almost like they ghost it. It's there on YouTube if you know the link to that video. But in the Google search, more times than not, when you get that red X on there, they're going to screw you somehow.
So what would happen on videos where you previously used that music?
It doesn't seem to affect them because it only seems to do this check really on the upload as far as I have experience with.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay, so we're just waiting for this to publish the new version. Yeah, I get it. It sucks that we have to wait. Oh, there, it's already done. So, all right. So I'm going to actually just call this Carlsbad office build, or backyard office builders Carlsbad. And I'm going to put the letter B just so I know it's a new version. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and then I got to do that quick little thing where I trim the back off of it. So Command T. I'm going to trim that, save it. Okay, and then
Write it.
Save, replace. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and trash that one so I can get rid of that B. Whoops. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we have it. All right, so now I'm going to go back to that same YouTube channel, click create, upload videos, and we're going to do this again. This time we're going to do it clean without that bullshit. Okay, so I'm going to grab the YouTube description here, paste it in there. All right, now we're going to go through the same quick process, not for kids, show more. Click that no button right there. Okay, then we put the location. And I know, yeah, you know, it's almost a good thing you guys got to see that in action, because we've had people report this. And look, you can keep the video and then upload another one, but I just like kind of say, okay, I'm going to stop there. Dan would keep going and just do it again later, but I tend to like go on the like, all right, I want to get it right now. I want to not deal with this again. So
yeah, I usually would just create a new one and just keep that one in there. And if it was saying that the audio track was claimed, then as long as I have the licensing proof, then I could just, what's it called? Dispute it and send that to YouTube. And it's all, I think it must be automated, because whenever I did that, it was pretty quick. It was like maybe an hour or so to a couple minutes.
There's no wrong answer there. I'm just showing what I do. Okay, so
Yes.
I've grabbed that link and I put it in there. Okay, yeah, like I said, like I'm kind of a jerk. I'm like, okay, you're dead to me now. You don't exist anymore. So I just X out of it, and it's actually still there. When I X'd out of it, it saved it as a draft in that channel. So it's just there in a draft. It's not. I'm just not going to publish it probably. You know. So anyway, this is done. Let me just double check, see if I like a better thumbnail than this. Let's see. It's taking its sweet time.
So John was saying, would we be creating a new channel rather than switching accounts like you did? You know, when you just switched account then earlier. I just thought I'd fill this dead time while we wait for that to upload.
Well, you can have multiple YouTube channels under a single account.
Yeah, so like if he didn't have like another channel to go to created yet, would he be creating it? Just create one, yeah.
Yeah, go back and review the Kickstart, and I show you exactly how easy it is to create a new channel. You just go to youtube.com/settings.
Yeah, you just click settings.
And then it gives you it allows you to click create new channel. I'll do that right now as soon as I publish this. Okay, I'll go to youtube.com. Oh, youtube.com/account. Sorry, /account. Okay, that's where I'm going right now. Okay, and you see where it says view or add or manage your channels. You just click that. And then it'll show all these channels I have here, right? And I can create a new channel. Does that make sense?
Amazing. Yeah, perfect.
You just click create new channel. That's it. That's all there is to it. Okay, so now we've got one more video to go. Carlsbad guest house. Okay, so let's find that over here.
And don't get discouraged if you get lost in clicking, because YouTube's really like non-intuitive. Like you can click settings in YouTube somewhere else and thinking that's the right one, but it's not. It's so confusing.
Yeah. Okay, so let me make sure I got it. So Carlsbad guest house. We did the ADU financing. So this is the last one we got to do. Okay, so I'm going to put that on, I think I got one like business growth expert or something like that. Let's go to business growth experts. And for here, I'm just going to click on that and then hit create. Well, oh man, now it's got me on this. I don't even know how to get out of this thing. Oh, right here. Okay, there we go. All right, right here. So if you're on this page, you click that, upload video, give me like golf videos and stuff. Okay, that's cool. All right, upload this last one. I'm gonna go ahead and make that red now. I'm pretty sure that's the same Lighthouse music track on that one, so I'm pretty sure it's safe. But okay, there we go. There's that, and then we're gonna copy and paste the YouTube description from Video Sparker. All right, and I'm gonna paste that right there. Looks great. Okay, last time we're doing this. See, this is it. This is all there is to it, guys. It's repetitive, but that's why I say once you kind of get these foundational pieces, everything starts falling into place. And in our next live workshop session, we'll build out the assets. And it's just now we're just going to literally take these pieces at this point and reuse most of them, and it'll just automatically build the assets for us essentially. So it becomes easier and easier as we go. Okay, let us add location, Carlsbad, California, and then we're going to do comment moderation, hold all, uncheck that, go to next. Let's copy the link, put it in our asset organizer. So now we got 5 videos published. Awesome. Okay, all 5 videos are published now. Okay, I'm good to go. Let me double check this, make sure it's published right. Let's go back to details and see if we got a thumbnail we can pick right here. It's going to do this thing. Let's see. Let's do the one that has a phone number on it. I like that. All right. Click done. Go to visibility. All right. Make sure it's public. Very important. And then hit publish. And just like that, we've got all 5 videos published. And what we're waiting for over the next 48 hours between now and our next live session. So between this gives you time to get this done. And between now and the next live session, I want you to keep an eye on your keywords. Okay, so like you can keep them in quotes just to start, and you'll see, that they'll start, picking up. Now it usually takes 24 to 48 hours in most cases. I've seen it happen in like 3 or 4 hours, but expect to come back tomorrow or the next day. So 1 or 2 days later, but you'll have 3 or 4 days between now and the next session for you to see anything coming up. And you can just kind of refresh the pages and see if any of these keywords are coming up for any of these videos or anything. I can see right now, not yet. I mean, I just published them. So, okay, well, look, that video I did a few days ago, it's showing up for 2 keywords. So it's got ADU financing. So that's great. And then we got ADU building cost, which is kind of a secondary thing because it's only going to show up in a YouTube video description. But I've got some here to kind of look at. And my goal is if I can see just like 2 keywords showing up for any of these videos at all, I know it's a green light. If I see 1, I think it's a green light. But if I see 2, it's like, okay, all systems go. I can just tell you from this right here, after, roughly 2 days when I saw this pop up, and also showing up when I take quotation marks out of it, just a general search showing up at the top of page 1, I know it's winnable. All right. So now how much time will it take to dominate the page? That depends on a lot of things, but I know I'm going to dominate this page. I can tell you right now, I am certain of it just because this video is showing up. That's why this whole part of the process is, we call it the validation step, right? This is the validating. So you've done everything here to go to the next level. That's why, we kind of treat this as an optional like pausing point where you can go and start setting up another asset. Like you can start getting another asset ready at this point if you want to, because some folks don't want to bother going and spending that next hour or whatever to do the build until they see it validated. And that makes sense. It's like, okay, I'm not going to waste any time on it until I know that I get the thumbs up, the green light, right? And that's a good point, good spot to stop and say, okay, maybe I go and pick another niche/geo, or say the same niche, another geo, whatever, and claim that and validate that. And then once things start validating, then you got the green light, thumbs up to move forward if you want to. All right. Anything to add there, Tony or Dan?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that you could also, what I like to do, I don't do this every time, but when I'm like adding a lot of videos to the channel, you can go into the same settings where you would verify your phone number in YouTube. You select the settings under the channel. You can actually go to upload defaults, and under advanced settings, you can actually set all those things like the category. Is this for kids? Do you want comments on or off? All that kind of stuff. You could add that in there and just hit save. Then that way you don't have to do it every single time you upload a video, if you're uploading a lot of videos.
That's a good idea.
A lot of times I forget to do it though. But I'm just creating one and adding like 3 to 5 videos, then I don't bother.
Okay. So we've done quite a bit in like roughly an hour. I mean, that's to show you that when you have these foundational pieces ready to go, you can knock out each leg really fast. And once you kind of get it down, the whole process from like literally from start all the way to finish combined is usually less than 2 hours once you understand it and once you kind of get through. Like in less than 2 hours, you can have a whole asset built out, ready to go. But that's obviously just talking about your time in producing things, right? There's still that variable of giving Google the space to do what it has to do, right? And we'll get through the build and the whole influencing and seducing Google in the next part, especially when it comes to like giving us a good chance of claiming map listings and things like that. But really, I want everybody to be 100% solid through this point and get this done, like where you gotten through the initial, like initial steps where you've kind of claimed it and you validated it. Okay. Now with that, we got open Q&A. We got plenty of time to go over any nitty gritty, like technical questions or just overall, strategy questions about the niche, whatever it may be.
Yep. There was a question earlier from Alana was asking if you can drop in that AI note that you'd made to put in the chat. I think that she's talking about the one where you said don't include the slides or something. Maybe I'm assuming that's maybe what she was talking about.
Yes, it is.
Prompt.
I will give you that right now. Okay, let me see. Let me get over there to that. It is right here. Let me copy that. And I'm just going to put it in our little group chat, Tony, because you know how to get that to people. Okay. Because I've got so many things up on my screen. I think you can just drop it into the.
Sure can.
And for those of you watching this as a replay, just pause here and write it down manually the old-fashioned way.
Or you could take a photo of it or screen capture it and then use AI to read the text, convert it to text.
The Tim Castleman approach.
Yeah.
I literally did that on my Mac the other day where I took a screenshot, opened it up in the preview thing, and you can select text in that. So if you've got a Mac, it's kind of ready to go. Yeah,
you want to tell them the quick version of that story, Dan?
Yeah. quick version was Tim was
those of you who know Tim Castleman, he's another marketer.
Yeah, he had sent us, like, he came to Laguna Beach. Me and Ben were staying in Laguna Beach doing some work together in this really nice casa and stuff. And he came to visit, and he was there, and he wanted us to meet him, to pick him up or something, to do something later. And so we're like, yeah, drop me a flag. Let me know where you are, a pin. Let me know where you are with your address or whatever. And he takes a freaking screenshot of the address and the map or whatever and sends it to us. So it's an image. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? You like want me to like sit there and memorize what you wrote and type it into my phone, or take two phones side by side?
That's what we had to do. That's what we had to do. I had to look at your phone and enter it into my phone.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the most like inconvenient way of sending somebody your location.
So you don't have to be that smart to do marketing, guys. You couldn't even figure it out. So it wasn't like he was trying to be a jerk. Like, I would get it if somebody was like messing with you, but I've done that to people to mess with them. But he literally was like, I don't understand technology. I don't know how to send that. So I just did this. So more of the story is, if you feel lost or whatever, don't worry, you can figure it out. There was a question earlier as well, so I was holding off, from Timothy. They were saying, like, are there any states that where an ADU niche wouldn't be a good idea? Or rather, what states, like what determines a good state would be for it? Like, I honestly don't know of any that would be a bad idea, but there is an understanding that you might find an area of the state, or maybe like a city or something, or a subdivision where they don't allow it, especially if it's like a high-end area or something and they don't want people living in their garage or whatever. So you wouldn't find that out until either you did some research, or until maybe you spoke to somebody, or at some point you'd figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of places have their own zoning and rules and things, right? Yeah. But like, look at Carlsbad that I'm using here. You're going to see me dominate this as we go through this, and you're going to dominate whatever area you pick if you choose this niche as well. Carlsbad is a very high-end community. I mean, those homes, like small homes, are $1.5 to $2 million for tiny little like homes, but they are very welcoming to building ADUs there. A lot of places in California, as a matter of fact, because California has a housing problem, right? Yeah. Housing is an affordability problem. So one of the things of all the most restrictive freaking state in America is actually pretty friendly when it comes to ADUs, but they do usually have like some restrictions. Like, you can't just build a mansion in your backyard, right? It might be like I think in Carlsbad, you get like pretty much an auto approved permit if it's under 1,000 square feet, or it's like under 800. I don't remember the exact number. I looked it up. It's actually a decent sized ADU you can build without having to get any special permits. You just still have to get like anywhere, you still have to have inspectors come and inspect and approve the work, right? Because you can't just build something that's going to catch on fire. So it has to be built to code. And that's going to be true wherever you go. They're going to have building code to deal with. But to be allowed to build it is not very hard in most places, actually in California, including LA. So the only thing I would consider is where it may be restrictive. You can find that even putting like tiny homes, like a tiny house on wheels kind of thing, it's technically classified as a vehicle. So as long as vehicles are allowed to be parked in your backyard, well, that's another way people can do ADUs, because a lot of tiny houses on wheels are built custom by a custom builder. They just have to build it on within a framework that it's built like a trailer kind of thing. But it could be a nice little tiny house on wheels, and they can even do a semi permanent foundation that can be removed. There's all kinds of cool ways around those, and that's the thing is people are going to be looking for these solutions in everywhere. As long the only real restriction is if you pick an area where people don't have backyards. So you're looking at Manhattan. Well, no, everybody's living in high rises, so they don't have a backyard to do this. So that would be limited. But if you're looking in upstate New York, if you're looking in Ithaca, New York, for example, then you might find, you'll probably find lots of options there. You know what I mean? So you have to be mindful of those restrictions, right? Where if it's an area where it's all zero lot line homes, well, then it's the demand's not going to exist because the opportunity doesn't exist. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Tony, what about the UK? What are the are they welcome to like carriage houses and backyard like offices and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's subject to local authority planning permission. I'm not sure kind of how it goes with square footage and whatnot. We've got a nice garage with a workshop built onto the back of it that would make a really nice little granny flat. But our house is back on the market again, actually, so we're not sticking around, so we're not going to do that. But yeah, it's something that people are definitely doing. Now, interestingly, like the garden office rooms and things like that, they're popular. I've not really heard people talking, like I had to message Dan saying, hang on, I've just joined late. What's an ADU? I thought it was something to do with drink driving, but one thing I did think of is that, no, my brain just actually stopped working then, when I was talking about the drink driving thing.
Were you drinking? Driving right now?
Not. I'm neither drinking nor driving. That might be the problem. I was just thinking then about how. Oh yeah, I remember. So Gemma's mum, the mother-in-law, she had a house that had an annex, which is like a small house built onto the side, and because it was independent from the main house, but built onto it, it actually made it much harder to sell the house. So I do feel that these independent small ones that could be used as offices and things like that as well, I think they're probably going to be a much better sell. So I really like the idea of them.
Well, certainly, because it's like a perfect storm of demand for this. You've got people like, us that, like Dan and I, for example, I know we're Gen Xers. So we've got elderly parents and we've got kids that are, in the kind of college age, but like in a housing market where they can't afford to buy a house. But it's like, okay, well, on one end, I need to take care of mom and dad. Maybe I don't want to put them in a home. So let's move them in here, but man, I don't want to move them into my house. So let's build them an apartment in the backyard. Okay, or maybe it's just like, hey, my kids can't afford a house. I don't want them to live in the basement for the rest of their lives. So let me maybe get a little apartment for them here in the back. So it gives us options for generational living in the same place, and that's becoming more and more and more in demand by the day, especially the crazy market we're in right now. But then you also have people wanting to I guess what you call house hack. So they can afford a house that might be a little hard to afford. So they have maybe that extra space that they can rent out, whether it's rent out as an Airbnb, if that's allowed where they are, or rent out just long term to somebody who would want to rent it, so that it helps absorb that monthly cost of ownership. So there's lots of reasons for this has become such a popular thing. More and more people are looking into, and that's why I am telling you right now, this is one of the few times I can remember in the last decade where I knew for sure we caught the fire and caught the lightning early. And so this is it.
Nice. Yeah. It's definitely looks like a growing market. Fantastic. We do have a couple of other questions. Dan, do you want me to just kind of dive in with these?
Sure.
Cool.
Go for it.
Okay. So Carol's saying, when you're making the videos, like in Lumen 5, how much attention should we give to making sure the images are relevant?
Sorry, I had it on mute there. Sorry about that. You want to make sure that nothing looks crazy out of touch. Like, I mean, yeah, you're going to see a lot of generic stuff. But like you noticed there, I went through and I scanned through and I looked at those, and anything that stood out as that doesn't make sense, I switched. And the thing is, Lumen 5 is smart enough to show you on the left-hand side all the relevant images based on the content there. And I just make sure I pick one that's free or royalty free or whatever and drag it over. That's it. Like you notice, I saw it one. It's like, that kind of makes it look like an ad for senior living home or something, because it just had like, elderly people being pushed in a wheelchair. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's kind of like, okay, I don't know if that's relevant because that one was about building a backyard office. If that was about building a granny flat, maybe, okay, that was relevant, but that was about, building a backyard office. So I just changed it to a generic like sunset image, right? Yeah. So it's not that important as long as it just make sure it doesn't look like it makes no sense. It's kind of like what we're talking about with the domain name, the catch-all domain name. As long as it doesn't, doesn't like look irrelevant altogether. That's all I got to look for.
Yeah. You don't want like hardcore music going and it's like Eagle and you're like freedom, the beach, build an ADU in your backyard today.
Just a psychedelic mix of colors and patterns.
Just do it.
Yes. Shia LaBeouf in the background. Maria is saying, are you saying that you can have numerous YouTube channels all under one name? It looked like you had 100. I think she means it like under one account. Looked like you had like 100 different YouTube channels under one account. Is that what you've got?
Yeah, you can. I've got them. We've got multiple different, Google accounts that I can switch to those accounts too. But like you can, under one single account, I got a ton of YouTube channels, ton of them. It's never been a problem. We've been doing this for a decade now. It's not been a problem.
Yeah.
And we just tell you to spread them out as like limiting risk just in case in the future. And that's the only reason why. So that's why we'll say, create a new one, have this many, whatever. But like we said, you can have more. Just don't come to us and be like, oh, something happened. It's your fault. We're like, no, we didn't tell you to do that.
Yes, you can spread them out across different channels. And if you want to be extra secure, you can spread them across channels that are under different accounts. Because, that's extra super secure.
I think Google got better about it because with this, with like so many people creating podcasts and YouTube channels and having managers and contributors and all that stuff, they have to connect accounts, make admins, have managers. I think after that, they kind of like loosened up a bit, years ago because of that, because it's kind of like, what are you going to like ding everybody that's attached to that account? That's kind of messed up,
I'm with you.
That's my guess. So,
yeah, that's the thing, that they are always changing these things. That's the key thing. So we keep you guys abreast of our past experience and our current experience. So it's always best to just play it safe where you feel like you need some kind of extra insurance, maybe spread them across the channels. Feels like a great plan. Now, Winnie is saying, I can upload all 5 videos on the same channel, so I don't have to have 5 Gmail accounts for 5 YouTube videos. I feel like that doesn't read like a question. I feel like that's a statement. And what we just said there, Winnie, kind of contrasts to that, where we're saying...
You certainly can. You can.
Yeah, you can.
It's just not what we advise.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. So yeah, you absolutely can. Because if there's anyone taking the trophy for being the king of lazy, it's probably me out of the 3 of us. And I know that's some stiff competition on some side of things when it comes to processes. I've got some stuff where I've just put everything in one channel. Now, if that all went down, that would be on me. So yeah, it's not recommended, but I live on the edge.
Yeah, but if you're like, look, I'm either going to do all 5 under one account, one Gmail account, or I'm not going to do it at all, or I'm going to wait a month to do it.
Well, you do all 5 under one Gmail account, but just have 5 different YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Like I think all 5 I just did today, or all 5 I have up, are under the same Gmail account, under the same Google account. They're just on 5 different channels. Because as I said earlier, I found just recently, not long ago, one of my channels got dinged, and I got it back. It came back after I hit the appeal button, and I think they gave it back like within the same day. But it was like, had it gotten taken down altogether, it would have sucked, but it would have been the end of the world because I had like, I think 20 videos on there, but of those 20 videos, those were one video for 20 different assets. So I had different assets that lost one video each, didn't lose all 5 videos. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But
and
had I
let's-
lost it completely, I still would have had 4 videos live there. And it's not like they deemed my whole Google account. They just did that one channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's say worst case scenario, you didn't get that back. You had 20 videos on that one channel, and you had 20 different clients, let's say. Well, and they were all paying you to do. What would you do? Okay, well, you'd spend 3 hours creating 20 more videos, ranking them, and getting them up before your customer even realized what happened. So it doesn't matter.
Well, you wouldn't even have to really recreate them all if you kept them all just organized in Lumen 5.
No, I meant like create a new channel, upload.
Oh, yeah,
them,
yes,
yeah.
yes, got it.
So could we clarify for the folks at home what is a channel versus an account? What goes under their name and phone number?
Well, a channel, I guess maybe you could think of a better way to explain it, but to me, I can kind of explain it saying a channel, imagine that as being like your website. And your website, or your Google account, your Gmail account would be like your website, right? Let's say you're using your money site. And let's say your channels could be like a 5-page site. So each channel will be 1 page basically, because they're all attached to that one account. And then you're just creating channels under that one account. So you can create as many channels as you pretty much want to, even though we don't recommend building that many, but they're just associated with that. So you have one Gmail account, and then you create your channels under that.
So we're in the 2rockstarsTV@gmail.com account. Okay.
That's
That's the YouTube, or I'm sorry, that's the Gmail/Google account. That's the master domain. Okay. Inside this account, we have multiple YouTube channels. One of them is this business growth expert. If I want to manage those channels or add more channels, I go here because right now I'm in youtube.com/account. So if I want to add or manage these, I click that, and this will show you all the channels that are managed in this one account. All right, these are like all channels that are in this. If I want to create a new one, I click create new channel. Okay, new awesome channel.
Chanel.
Copyright strike.
Yeah, right.
So I guess your account is like a building, and the
There we
channels
go.
are like.
There's new awesome channel. And if I want to start adding videos, well, I go here and add a video. That's it. And then since this is a new channel, there's a chance that I might be asked to do a re-verification. Sometimes I don't know what triggers it. Sometimes it triggers up and it might ask me to verify a phone number.
But
Might
you
not.
would have to verify it if you want to add a thumbnail or add a link,
Yeah,
clickable link inside of the description.
exactly. But there you go. I
Even though
mean,
it's
so
under the same Gmail.
that's
account.
it.
Makes
So
sense.
youtube.com/account. And then you can see all that stuff there. So that's the difference between the account and the channel. The account is 2rockstarsTV@gmail.com. The channels are these. So I just happen to be signed in under 2rockstarsTV to business growth experts right here. But I can I could switch it to anything else if I want to. If I want to go here to manage channels, I can go and sign into these other accounts right here. I can also do it from the sidebar here by clicking switch account. Okay, and it'll just show all these there too. So that's
how I
it.
do it.
that's all there is to it. Is that more clear now?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Maria's asked, where do I find your updates on the YouTube accounts, etc.? I don't completely understand that question, Maria. Could you reword it and resubmit it? That'd be great. So Bob is saying, I already know who I'm going to do the first project for. Should I use their actual images for the videos?
Only if they're paying you, I would recommend, because, and even then, I personally wouldn't use their images mainly because if you need to swap out clients later, you can't reuse those images.
I would create one vanity video for them. And then like, so instead of doing 5 videos, you're doing 6. So do your 5 videos the way you would do it as though you don't have a client. Okay. And I would still use a redirect phone number for them, and then create a vanity video that's all their images that you give to them. And then you can rank for their business name and all those things like that. That's the vanity video. Just like, hey, and that's the video you can put on the site. You can swap it out however you want. But I would still treat the other videos as though this is a rank and rent asset, so that later on, if for whatever reason they decide, well, they're going out of business or they're closing, they don't have a plan to pass it on to an heir, they're not going to sell, they're just going to close the doors, and you don't have this client anymore, well, you still have this asset that you can turn around and flip. You just lose the vanity video. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Because like I one of my first ones I did for my electrician friend, who I bring up every time we do one of these, and I used.
And I told you back then he'd be a pain in your ass.
Yeah, and I used his real phone number and everything instead of a redirect, and my golly gosh, what a pain in the ass. But there we go. So yeah, I like the one vanity one idea. Makes sense.
But do whatever's going to get you paid, though. Also, because I've done it before. Like I've said many times. Like I've been at a party or a get together or something like that with friends, and I met somebody there and they had a business, and we got talking, and I made a video from my phone, uploaded to YouTube. Now, obviously, I wasn't going to go get a redirect number and all that stuff, so I just used their phone number, set it up. I actually think in that case, I didn't even put a phone number in the video. I just did it text on the screen on the description, so that way I could change it later if I wanted to. But I used their images and everything just so that way it'd be custom, and I use that to land clients and to impress people. So I have done that.
There you have it.
Perfect. Yeah. So Maria's confirmed what I thought maybe she meant when I said, we're talking about, we're giving out, we'll let you know if anything changes, but this is what works for us now. And we were speaking about our past experiences. Maria said, well, you mentioned new info that you find as you progress. Do you post that anywhere, like tips and tricks? We sometimes post things in the Facebook groups, in the digital monopoly group specifically, because that's the one for our customers.
And the knowledge base.
And the knowledge base, yeah, at rockstarhelp.com. There's a little search box. It's my favorite thing. It's the most underused asset that we have, in my opinion. More often than not, you can find the answer there. But we do update the like best practice documents in there. So yeah, definitely recommend you check that out. But usually,
like for example, let me give a quick example of this. Is this right here? We used to do, this is all very simple. The putting, quotes on keyword searches to get exact matches. Used to be, I do this and it would show me a number, like X number of results. Well, where do you see that? Does anybody see it here?
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. So I can, I guess, manually check. Oh, there's 0. I don't see anybody. Therefore, it's 0. But we learned that, okay, it's so stupid and arbitrary. You click this thing, it says tools. You don't have to do anything else. Oh, there it is. Now it's showing up there. I get rid of tools. Oh, it's gone. Oh, it's back. Things like this, that are like that come up that we find. They usually end up in that knowledge base where we say, hey, that finding the exact match, you have to do this now.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of the time is that it's not like the previous thing no longer works and the new thing does. More often than not, it's like Apple releasing a new iPhone or something. The old one will still work. So like old trainings suddenly aren't like, oh, this is out of date and defunct and it's never going to work. No, it's just we may find a quicker way or a different way or have a tool that goes with the new training that's faster. Now, both work absolutely fine. So if you just join us on the newest training, you'll just see the newest thing. You'll see a lot of tried and true stuff, like the greatest hits. You go and see the Rolling Stones in concert, you're gonna hear Satisfaction and some of the greatest hits, and you're gonna see some of that on these as well. So I think it works that way. Would you agree? If that made any sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect.
And on these live trainings, that's when you'll see like the newest stuff.
That's it. Yeah, join us on these live trainings, and you'll hear the latest. We've got a great question here that brings up the old leads question. Have you ever dominated the page but didn't get your client any leads? And if no leads were generated for them, are they still paying clients to this day?
Or dominate the page and not get any leads? No. Some get more than others. That's all. That's like never get any? No.
Yeah.
But some get more than others.
Because if they're in business doing that business, there must be a need. And when people have a need for something, they go to Google.
Yeah.
So like if they're showing up on Google, then they're going to get leads. But yeah,
one good example of this is like, and then some of them like will change drastically. It's like we had back when we still lived in Canada, when we were in West Vancouver, we had a friend that had basically a home organization business. They were like the people that came in and reorganized your house and cleaned out your closets and did all that, all that stuff. And they were already doing pretty well, but they asked for some help, and we helped them out. We basically did an asset for them. This is kind of a trade because they actually helped us with some of our stuff. They helped us do a whole home organization for ourselves because we had like so much crap like hoarders. Anyway, we did a trade, but when we first did it, they got maybe 3 or 4 extra leads over like a couple months, like 3 or 4 extra calls that they weren't getting before. They found them that way. It wasn't a whole lot, but then like out of the blue, like almost like 8-9 months later, like a year after, she told us that, can we turn it off? She's like, is there a way you can like pause this? Like, no, we can't just turn it off. But she was actually complaining that she was getting too many calls because she's just a solopreneur doing it all herself. But she got to a point where like everybody was finding her for this home organization in West Vancouver. And anyway, so at first it was just kind of trickling in, and all of a sudden it just like the sky fell out. And so you can't, those are things you can't predict, which is why I don't like being in the leads business. I like being in the visibility business because when it mattered, when people started looking, when the dam broke and people really started looking for home organization in West Vancouver, well, it really broke, and it broke her way. Right. And that's what I want you to remember. And this is the visibility business. We were visible when it was something that people were really looking for. And it all happened, right at once. So we can't guarantee when people are looking and at what frequency and what reasoning, that can happen. But we can guarantee absolutely that when somebody's ready to find it, they will find it.
Yeah. So it's about going where the puck is going sometimes, as
Yes.
Gretzky said. Quick reminder, folks, we're tagging these questions as they come in, so please don't resubmit them. We will definitely get to your questions. Don't panic. So we've got a couple of Daniel put this in like just after you'd when you were checking your YouTube results and everything. Daniel said, Backyard Office Builders Carlsbad just showed up. One on YouTube, says 3 minutes ago. Awesome, guys. So yeah, and that was 32 minutes ago. So I'm sure even more on there now. Thanks for that, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know if this is I'm guessing this is in the pre-game vids. Michelle is saying, can you recap on how to get keywords and a domain name? That's in the pre-game training, is it?
Yes. Let me go over there. Give me a second.
Cool.
Let me bring it. Okay. So say it again, Tony. What is the question exactly?
Can you recap on how to get keywords and a domain name?
Okay, so right here, I mean, so this is part one of the checklist, all right, that you have access to. So I encourage you to re-review this, but I'll recap it right now. To pick the keywords, once you've zeroed in on your niche and you've selected, the geo you're interested in going after, all right, you've kind of found, okay, this is a geo and this is the niche combination. The keywords, it's really easy. If you're struggling with ideas, see, I have an unfair advantage that I've been doing this long enough that my brain is already pre-wired to know what keywords to pick. Okay, because it's always like I'm always looking for quotes, price, speed. Those are the top three I'm looking for. I'm looking for affordability, quotes, pricing, or speed. Those are like the big motivators for high intent traffic. And I always like finding keywords that are, 2-for-1s, right? So that's what I think I just know. But if you don't know that, you don't have that instinct yet, and that's okay. That's where you use this thing right here, the Keyworder AI. Okay, it's a really easy to use tool. It's right here in the Sparksio AI backstage that you should have access to. You just click here, and this will give you a list of keywords to play with. So if I put in, let's say, ADU construction, or let me put builders. Okay, Carlsbad. All right, and hit next. Okay, next one more time. It's going to give me a good list to start with. This isn't always, I'm not always going to use everything on this list, but man, right here, this is already, we've already tuned this to be looking for those high intent type keywords. And it also will look for, and this isn't always perfectly accurate, but it'll look for those exact matches too. So it'll kind of give you an idea of that list. And some of these are probably taken up because we're already starting to get videos taken out there. But custom ADU builders in Carlsbad, okay. But that might give the idea to do custom ADU builders Carlsbad or Carlsbad custom ADU builders. So this is giving me a solid list. I got 25 here to start with. I just need to narrow it down to 5 or figure out the 5. That's what I recommend until you kind of get it wired to where you kind of just know what you want to go for. And then getting your domain name, really easy. You just want to go to Namecheap. And I just got aducarlsbad.com. That it was available. If that was not available, I might have done carlsbadadu.com. If that wasn't available, it might have been ADU Construction Carlsbad. It might have been Affordable ADU Carlsbad. I might have done what else? ADU Builders Carlsbad. I mean, right?
Yeah, and if all else fails, we start adding things like HQ and things like that, don't we?
Yeah, like ADU HQ or carlsbadaduhq.com or carlsbadadupros.com. Those it's really easy. That's it. And then for your generic one, you can be really generic. Like this is my generic, catch-all is just fasthomecontractor.com. It could be easyhomecontractor.com. It could be affordablehomecontractor.com. It could be just homecontractorprofessional.com if that's available. Whatever I can find that's available. I personally like to get the .com if I can. You're not going to be penalized for using like .net probably, but if you can get .com, get .com. If you're in the US, at least. If you're in the UK, .co.uk is always a winner.
Oh, yes. Just looks more official. Plus, if you start getting things like .co, you may find that, oh, look, it's only this much to buy it. And then the following year, it's like, instead
of $30, $40.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's one reason why I do like to buy my domains now through Cloudflare, because they don't mark up the wholesale price. But, it's still no guarantees that these .cos and things like that. I mean, you can get all kinds of ones like .ninja and all sorts, but they just look
those freaky ones.
Yeah, they just look fruity, man.
If you can get whatever's relevant to the area you're doing, do that. Yeah. If you're in Canada, still use .com because nobody uses .ca.
Fair play. Okay, so okay. Kyle is asking a question. I'm going to read it as it's written. Maybe it says, "Do you think it is okay to just use your main keyword for my cities?"
I don't
Yeah.
understand that.
I'm assuming if for example, you're saying your main keyword is like, if I say like Carlsbad ADU construction, right? Like, let's just say that's my main keyword, right? You're saying use that as your domain? Is that what you're asking?
No, I think we're just talking about choosing keywords. So do you think it's okay to just use your main keyword for my cities? So I don't know if he's asking permission to use Carlsbad, well, ADU construction,
Well,
and then
go
choose
for
his
it.
own cities.
Guys, if you want to steal my research here,
Yeah,
that's why we're here.
let us know.
That's
Carl.
why you're freaking here. It's to steal from me. Please, now, please, for the sake of finishing this course, don't do Carlsbad. I'm asking that as a favor so that you don't ruin my teaching here, okay? Because I will beat you. I will beat you. I got tricks, but I don't want to have to. Okay. All right.
Nice.
I
Kyle,
picked
is that what
an
you-
obscure suburb of a city, like, so that there's everything else is available. I didn't, because like,
Yeah.
guys, you'll find out that major cities are wide open, like major cities. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who's going after any of those major cities, but major cities are available. That's why you need to go out and claim it and start getting those videos up, because when other people see it's claimed, they'll leave it alone. So go claim it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's what Kyle meant. Kyle, let us know if that's what you meant or if you meant something else. Yeah, cool. So just to recap what we just briefly talked about, domain names there. Yeah, Bill, if you're in the UK, use .co.uk. If you're in Greece, use .gr. If you're in Turkey, use .tr. Whatever is native.
If you're
to the
targeting
country
those-
you're
If you're,
Those
if you're targeting those, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If that's native to the place you're targeting. Yeah. So
Like, if
not
I-
where
if
you
I'm-
are in the
if I'm
world.
if I'm in UK targeting US cities, I'm going to use .com. If I'm in the
Correct.
US targeting UK cities, I'm using .co.uk.
Bingo. Yeah. So wherever you're targeting, so where it's native to where you're targeting, not where you are in the world. Okay. So
It's pretty dumb though that UK does that. Like that their UK is like so long and complicated.
well, there is a .uk, but it's just not what came out when the internet came out. So .uk looks like
Sounds like a practical joke that they did to the UK, to the Britons. They're like, hey, let's mess with them. Let's do this. And then they forgot to change it.
I just like how you said they did it to the Britons.
Yeah. They did it to the Redcoats.
moving on.
Because
John-
you can't get .limey, can you?
Come on, man. That would actually be pretty funny if you had racial slurs as top level domains.
I don't know, Ben. You got to be careful. They could actually extradite you back there and
Oh, well.
put you in prison for that right now.
Yeah. Anyway, so John's saying, are we focusing in this example that we're doing, Ben? Are we focusing on backyard offices or rentable dwelling spaces?
You're focusing on the construction of backyard spaces. If you want to be specific in just a specific kind of them, that's fine. I'm being more generic and saying, okay, I'm going after keywords that include multiple versions. So if you notice, I'm actually using the terminology ADU on purpose. Most average people out there don't know what ADU means. But those who do and are searching it, those are ready to go. Like I'm actually taking advantage of that and saying anybody that does actually search for ADU construction in a specific city, they know what they're looking for. They're already an educated, ready to buy buyer. Does that make
they're
sense?
past the research stage. Yeah.
Yeah. But I sprinkled in some keywords that are a little more generic, like backyard office builder or guest house construction. That way I'm still targeting people that aren't as educated, but I'm going heavily after educated traffic. Well, we got some crazy feedback going on here.
Yeah, I'm hearing that too.
Ooh,
Okay.
Not me. So maybe it's because I was not muted.
Okay.
What were you doing?
I was turning my stuff down. I was
Like-
typing.
Sound like you're beating your robot or something.
I was typing like a madman.
Don't talk back to me. Clean up that mess, Ruma.
All right. What else we got?
Okay, moving on. Richard is saying, Amazon S3. Do we need more than one S3 for life? I love the for life bit. I only have one S3 account. Do you guys?
You don't need more than one S3 account. And what will inevitably happen when you get to rockstar status is you'll reach the limit of S3 buckets that you can have, which I
Okay.
think is like 500, which is a lot. But we reached that limit long time ago, and then you just literally open a ticket with Amazon, say, hey, I need that limit increase, and they did it like within an hour, and now we have like I think a 10,000 limit. So
Yeah.
that's all that's going to happen. But we don't need another account. Like it's all in the same account.
Yeah. It's I've had an S3 for a good 10 years, I'd say. Since you guys first shared it with me. And
It's such a
now-
cool trick.
every 3 months, I think, I get a bill for like £6. and that I figured that out why as well. Is because I've got one customer who has an audio book and he just sends them to listen to it on my S3. And and I just keep forgetting to sort it out. He gets so many opt-ins, this guy, and he just gives them this link and they stream it from instead of downloading it, they stream it from my S3. And his business is booming, and I pay a whopping like almost £6 every 3 months for that privilege. So
Yeah. If it was
It's
more
not-
than that, I would just put it on Google Drive and give them that link unlisted.
exactly, it's such not a big problem.
You know,
But I'm
have-
using that as an
we have,
example
like,
of low cost.
we have like thousands of things on S3, thousands. And I don't think our bill has ever gone above $10 a month. That's with thousands of things, including videos that are
Yeah.
streamed up there. So
Well,
yeah.
we used to pay more back when we had to have all of our videos, everything,
Yes.
because we didn't have Vimeo. It wasn't available. And yeah, man, I think our bill would get up to $500.
Yeah, that was back when we put
Oof.
all of our video, 100% of our
Yes.
video content on there. Like
Yeah.
every training video we did, everything was on there, and that
Yep.
would be consumed by tens of thousands of views a week at least.
Yeah.
But that's not the case anymore. But anyway, but just like our little S3 sites, no. I mean, I think it would take 10 million people visiting there to cost you $1.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
And you only need one S3 account because every bucket is unique, which
Like a
we
domain, yeah.
Yeah. So Matthew Herber is saying, I'm a chiro that is running a pain center using Class 4 laser. What keyword would I start with? The pain points are, for example, neuropathy, sciatica, shoulder pain, plus city, question mark. So he's saying, would he do like, sciatica El Dorado? Or would he do something else talking about the lasers? Like, I guess we're talking about keyword selection. I'd go for the problem. Would you?
Yeah, because I don't.
What does it
Is that-
solve?
okay, so Matthew, we actually had another student doing a similar thing. I had the pleasure of talking to in our last coaching program. I don't know if it was laser related, but he was a chiro and he's doing some of those kind of things. And he unfortunately was in a town or state, I guess, that had like crazy regulations on how he could like market those things. It sounds like you might not be, and if you're not, which I know a lot of chiros are not. Yes, I would go after neuropathy all day long. Like as somebody who has, I myself have chronic neuropathy, and man, we will always be looking for a solution for that. I'm a type 1 diabetic, as some of you know, and so one of the things that come with type 1 is neuropathy. But I know that's a big keyword. I've done plenty of research on that keyword. lots of opportunity. I would look at neuropathy, things around neuropathy treatment, neuropathy solutions. And then I would include one keyword about the laser just for those, the small amount of traffic. It's going to be small, but highly targeted about that. But I would focus on the pain, pain relief, neuropathy treatment, things like that. And if you go after that, you're going to be golden.
Yep. Get in the mind of the customer that would benefit from what you're offering, and what are the questions that they ask, and what, how do they look for it?
Yeah, because like
really
I know I have a problem. Like, for example, me being a potential customer, right? If I live in your area, I know I have a problem. I don't know what all this is. I'm just looking for a solution because I've tried these things and they worked okay, but I'm always looking for the next better thing, right? And I've had, I've also dealt with sciatica. That's another thing I'll be looking for. So neuropathy, sciatica, shoulder pain. Shoulder pain's a little more generic, but sciatica and neuropathy are very specific. If people know they have those issues, they're going to be looking for solutions to those issues, and that's going to be a big money key. Those would be big money keywords for you.
Mm. I mean, the good news is that you know both of these terms. So, for example, somebody's got a kind of foot pain, and they could describe the foot pain and how do I get rid of this foot pain? And then, I know this isn't what you're doing, Matthew, you're a chiro, but it works for my example. So somebody's describing this foot pain. So you would go for maybe those keywords, but then because you're not limited in, it's not like you only have to choose 5 keywords and that's it for your life. You could do another little project where you could be talking about plantar fasciitis, where somebody knows what that is. They might not be able to spell it, mind, but they know what it is and they're looking for solutions for that. So they're a bit more informed and they're looking for someone who can solve that problem. So you may be speaking with them in a slightly different way, and you may be just saying, hey, we deal with this. This is how we deal with it. Come and book a call. And you may find that they're better customers, or you may find that the people who are just, how do I get rid of this foot pain that feels this way? Maybe they're the ones who turn into customers. You can just get both if you've got the time.
Yeah. And if it's your business, then you can actually create a lot more assets. You don't have to just stick to the limited amount. You can create more videos and more stuff, where you can really focus in on other keywords as well, like solving better than acupuncture for sciatica or whatever. And then you can basically explain the laser, or natural remedies to reduce shoulder pain, or whatever, things it is. And you can target better than massage therapy, better than pain meds for this, Being your Roomba again?
Oh, you getting the thing again? You getting the weird people? I've turned you down real quiet. I may have to put some headphones on. Richard is asking, when you're making 5 videos, are you doing a voiceover? And it says a pain video, closed captions, etc.
So if you watch the quick start, the initial getting started guide stuff that we have in there, you see that first video I created was a AI voiceover video. So I usually do at least one of those, sometimes 2 out of the 5. Usually the other 3 are just kind of text over music kind of videos. I just prefer those because the AI voices have come a long way, but I'm still not sold on how realistic they sound. So to me, I'll do 1 or 2 just kind of have it spread out. But typically the other ones I do are just kind of the music with text, and I found, at least to this day, they still show up just well as you just saw. A lot of you just saw that one keyword's already ranking for one of those videos. So I kind of mix it up. Now, in the past, I would occasionally even just put my own voiceover on a video. I don't really bother with that anymore. I'll just do one with the AI voice, and that's fine.
Nice. Yeah, personal preference.
Yeah. I mean, the AI voices are pretty damn good. It's just I try not to overdo it. I try not to overdo it with that.
I'd probably do all voice over.
That's fine.
So it's just personal preference. Yeah.
Daniel is sending you some thanks, Dan. He says, major thanks to Dan. I got access to RevZio already. You rock. So I'm guessing you helped him out with something there. Well done.
I use the power of
delegation.
Yeah.
Telling people what's what.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the secret. What is it called? The secret, the law of attraction as well.
The secret of being the boss.
Did you manifest a solution?
Yeah.
Question: is there a way to see which keywords get the most searches to help you pick your top 5 money keywords?
No.
Not an accurate way.
No.
Yeah.
Google won't tell you. No one will tell you. You really just have to. You really just have to look at it from a practical standpoint, and just know that high intent. So high intent keywords are all about getting into that mindset of, if someone's searching this, they're a buyer. They're absolutely in a position where they are ready to, or they're at least a step closer to making a purchase decision than somebody just purely doing speculative research, for whatever reason. But that's why I love going after, I think we're on the screen right now, after keywords that give me combos. So look at this first one. I mentioned this in the initial training, but Carlsbad ADU construction quotes. Okay. Well, I'm going after Carlsbad ADU construction with that keyword. Like, you just forget the word quotes is there. But by adding the word quotes, I'm adding another layer to that keyword of, okay, if they're looking for quotes, and by the way, Google knows synonyms, so Google would probably, if somebody typed in estimates, it would probably give you the same result. But I'm getting a 2-for-1 here. So I'm getting one, yeah, maybe it's the tire kicker and the slightly higher competitive, maybe just a little bit more competitive, or just the word ADU construction, but I'm getting both. So on one hand, I'm going after one that I'm going to win even faster, more clearly. And then I'm still going after this one that's just Carlsbad ADU construction. So I'm kind of hitting with both angles. So, same thing goes with, if I look at like Carlsbad guest house construction financing. Well, you take the word financing out, right? I'm still going after Carlsbad guest house construction, right? And then you can look at affordable ADU builders Carlsbad. Right, this is a keyword that I kind of using as a secondary one that I'll kind of go after later. But that's also going after, take the word affordable out. ADU builders Carlsbad. So it's kind of if you pick keywords like in this kind of way, then you're going after the psychologically obvious ones that are buyers or that much closer to making a purchase decision, but you're also going after the more general keywords inevitably. Just, one's going to win faster, right?
Absolutement. So a couple of questions here about the recordings. How long is it going to take to get the recording of today?
Well,
and where do we find these recordings, please?
we usually say 24 to 48 hours, somewhere around there, just to be safe in case there's delays or whatever. But I would say like more than 95% of the time, we have them up in 4 to 6 hours after the live takes place. So they're usually up same day. But just to be safe, because you never know, the computers crash, whatever crap happens, and so it's just to be safe.
Yeah, and I'm right here in your member area right now for this whole thing. So, and I'll take this moment as a reminder. Please, if those of you aren't fully familiar, you've heard us talk about ADUs. This video right here goes through all the stuff about ADUs and everything that should excite you about that. If that's a niche you want to do, if it's not, you're doing another niche. We've got people that have their own reasons for doing other niches. Great, awesome. But watch that, and then here's the getting started right here that I mentioned. This is kind of going over parts 1 and 2 of your workbook and checklist. If you haven't downloaded your workbook and checklist, you can download it right here, or you can download it right here. The session we're in right now, session 1, Well, it's not there yet because we're currently doing it, but when the recording is available, it'll be right there. Okay.
Yep, indeedy. Great question from Bill, who's here in the UK, saying, you know how you asked me, Ben, like, oh, ADUs, is that a thing? Bill's saying, well, I've not really heard of ADUs here in the UK. What could we use instead of ADU? My personal thoughts, Bill, is that you can, I mean, I've just Googled ADU UK, things are coming up. So I'd never heard of it. However, it is a thing. We also use the term granny flats. I've seen the term backyard cottage. And I've seen some stuff coming up saying accessory dwelling unit versus annex. Is there a difference? So, I mean, people are discussing it in web pages and things. Personally, what I would do, there's a guy around the corner called Peter. He does extensions and things on your home. And he does all the planning permission and everything. If I was going to dive headfirst into this niche, I would speak with him and say, what would you call this? Because I do feel like regionally, if you're focusing regionally on your local region, it's a great idea to connect with somebody and say, what do people call this around here? So I would definitely have a look. But I mean, I'm seeing granny annex.
Yeah, garden flat and an annex.
Yeah. So I think, but remember, we did say Google knows synonyms. So somebody types in granny flat, Google knows that is also known as an ADU, accessory dwelling unit, annex, backyard cottage. It knows all of these terms. So you can garden tiny homes I've seen as well. So you can absolutely use all of those. But metro.co.uk, the free magazine that you, the free newspaper you get on the train or on the buses, they've got an article, what is an ADU? So it's a term that's coming bigger here in the UK, same as in the US.
The lexicon is spreading.
Yeah, like Ben said, it's a growing market. So the fact that people aren't, and especially aware of it, means you can go where the puck is going to be, to use that phrase again. So yeah, it's not common, but it's definitely growing.
Yeah, like tiny house, micro dwelling, pod homes, compact homes, eco homes. There's lots of different sayings.
And the important thing to know is that there are very few businesses or contractors out there that are just claiming themselves as ADU people. But but who builds an ADU? It's usually going to be a general contractor. So you're going to sell this to general contractor is going to be happy to build ADUs. So that's the beauty of this, is you're basically handing them over a market of visibility that they hadn't, imagined having for themselves before.
Perfect. Yeah. I just feel like we're really early in this niche, and I think that's amazing.
I think we're just in time for it. I mean, really.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like you said, I mean, people are getting, like my folks, they're in their 80s. They've moved into like a community type thing from this house that they couldn't live in anymore because my mum she just kept throwing herself down the stairs. So it gets to that point where you need to do something, and we were unable to look after them here. So plus they want their independence, and this is the best of both of those worlds, I think. So yeah, perfect timing. As is it the baby boomers start to get a bit older? John is asking, the results we get from the Keyword AI app, are they presented in the order of search volume? We talked about search volume before. They're not. It's a different order, isn't it?
I don't know if I don't actually think there's any specific order. Maybe it's alphabetical. I don't even know.
Yeah, I thought maybe it showed the least competition first.
No, because it'll show it's kind of random.
Right.
Like, let me go.
But they're all good.
Yeah, it's not even alphabetical order.
Yeah.
I mean, It's just an order that it decided it made sense. I guess I can go in and have the program reprompted to put it in some sort of order, but really you're to use this as a guide. But look here, look, you can actually put granny flats in here.
Yeah.
So but it's going to look for a lot of different options and give you ideas.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you could even, once you get more advanced, stick to this at first, but once you get more advanced, you can go in there and you can actually go into our dashboard and go into the app stash, and we have other keyword tools in there too, where you can really like niche down and come up with some more ideas and expand. But this is good enough to start.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's always my recommendation. Get started there.
Yeah.
Perfect. So looking at the time, folks, if you have any burning questions and you were just kind of waiting for some reason to type them in, please throw them into the chat now, because we're rapidly, rapidly running out of candlelight here in the UK.
I did see a question a little bit ago from a while ago from Maria, but I was waiting off until we got a little further along. She was asking, as far as outsourcers, like hiring somebody to set up like the sites and the videos, or doing a part of it or something like that, do we have any recommendations? Like, do we have somebody we can recommend, or what would we use? And I always say, you can find anybody on Upwork. Just make sure you choose somebody that has built sites. It could be WordPress or whatever. They can figure it out. I mean, we've got training, we've got everything they need, and you can reuse the same person over and over again. Always recommend testing them out first, having them do just a couple things here and there just to see. But we always recommend you do it yourself first, just so you understand it, so you can explain things. Otherwise, you're going to be like, just create a video. Okay, well, where do you want it? I don't know. Just watch a video. It's like you're going to be billed for every minute or every hour that they have to go through training and stuff to figure this stuff out, and you won't even be able to answer anything for them. So we always recommend that you figure it out first, and then you can always outsource.
Yep.
Perfect.
What final questions you see in there?
Yeah, I've got this one from Richard about long tail keywords, and then basically I think that's us. Gary is asking about pricing as well, though, so we'll get to that. Richard, I hadn't forgotten about you. He says, how does this long tail setup relate to the landing page? I know the videos, keyword and all are in both, which is great, but which shows up? The landing page, the videos, or both?
All of it.
Yeah.
That's how you take over a page, Richard. Is that so? Here's what we want to see at the end. At the end, we want to see the page taken up by these actual sites. So you got your main site, you got two mini sites. Well, so you type in a keyword, man, what the perfect scenario is, your keyword shows up. One of the positions is your main site. A position is one of your mini sites. Another position is one of your videos. Another position might be another mini site. And then when we get to the last part, the final workshop, we'll talk about the going the extra mile and dropping love bombs and things like that. Then you might have other social things showing up, other articles and things that will blast out there, showing up on different searches. So ultimately, we want to be able to take over at least 2 or 3 spots on every possible search term. We want to have 50 plus keywords combinations, and we'll get to that. We'll get to like how these 5 keywords turn into 50. We'll talk about that in the next thing. But we want to see like all of those showing up for 2, 3 spots. Sometimes maybe taking up almost the whole page when you start looking at it, right? So I want you to kind of think about every one of these things is something that's going to push someone else off of the first page of Google. Like that's really what we're aiming for, is that we can like pretty much run the table on a lot of these. So I'm going to show you. Sorry, what?
I was getting feedback again. That's weird.
That's weird. I have headphones in now as well.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a go-to thing then.
Here, let me, you know what? Actually, I'm going to show you an example here. Like, so this is one that I did a while back. Somebody's seen this, but look, Alpharetta Affordable Nose Jobs. Look, that's the main site. And it's like a big listing. This map listing, that's mine, right? This is a mini site right here. That's mine. Okay. So we've got 3 or 4 things happening on page 1. If I look at another keyword here, if I add the word surgery, we got number 1, number 2, number 3. All right. I mean, let's see. Do we have anything else going on there? Okay. If I look at rhinoplasty surgery, number 1, number 2, number 3. Then I got a YouTube video, so 4. Then I got this Reddit, the 5. So half the page. That's what we're looking. This is the result we're trying to get from what we're doing right now. And everything you're doing right now will absolutely lead towards this result as long as these foundational pieces are done just the way we're showing you. You like Lily, you do part 1. You pick it the way we talk about picking it, you claim it, you validate it. If you get through these things, this is 95% of everything that will get you to a place where you have 50 plus keywords, where you take up 3, 4, 5, or maybe even more spots on page 1, including map listings. That's where we're heading. That's what I intend for this ADU Carlsbad property to do, is exactly this. And I've done this enough times to just by seeing these keywords showing up in the initial validation stage here, I am very confident that it's going to look like this. How fast will it be there? I don't know. I can't tell you that, but it's going to get there. I can tell you that with certainty. So follow this, like stick with us. Do it the way we're showing you, and you'll get there too.
Cool. Maria says, go-to is being wonky today. Ben's screen goes back up to 275%, etc. Sorry to hear that, Maria.
It's going to look fine in the replay. Sorry about that.
The replay, yeah, it looks good on my side. So that's good to see. Okay, happy days. And we're going to be talking about pricing and things in the upcoming sessions, aren't we?
Yes, in session 3.
Yeah, fantastic. And session 3, the next sessions are very, very close, aren't they? So we need people to take action pronto, get to work.
Yep. So you get these steps done, get your videos up so that we come to the next session and you can tell us if you got validation or not, and then we can answer questions based on that. So you can have questions about why did this only get this, or why did this get these and not these, and we can talk about those, and we'll be careful to wait for your permission to share your niches and geos. We won't talk about that. But we want you to be able to bring those kind of questions to us so we can be highest level of service to you.
Amazing. And this is a do with you kind of over the shoulder process, which I found really, really, really nice to watch, as opposed to it being pre-recorded. To go through it with you live is amazing, and that's the key thing. Go through it with Ben as he's doing it. So maybe go away now and go through it, or you can next time try and do it along with him or whatever. But the key thing is action. Whenever you do it, you have to take the action, guys, because that's nothing happens without the action. And a lot of questions that we do get in the help desk, in the groups, on these live webinars is stuff like just stopping to wait and check something. More often than not, if you just go ahead with your first kind of idea and then check, just get the action, do the thing, just publish the page, set up the YouTube channel, just take action, follow as best as you can with the steps, but don't let anything stop you in your tracks. That's the key thing, isn't it? Keep swimming.
Plow through. And that's the thing is, in the next session, so session 2, so let me tell you right now, I really encourage you to hopefully you've been working along with me, those of you who have, great. And finish those last videos, whatever you got to do to get them published and validated so that we come to the next session. Because the next session is going to be the most grueling in terms of like busy work. But the good news is it's all going to be copying and pasting crap we've already done. All right. But it's just going to be busy work. It's going to be like kind of But the next session, we're going to have 3 sites built, published, and submitted to Google with a chance of trying to grab a map listing. That's all going to happen the next session. So please make sure all your stuff is stacked up so you're ready for that. Okay, because we're going to do that 100% over the shoulder. Like every last step on that thing is going to be, we're going to do this, now we're going to do this, now we're going to do this. Okay, paint by numbers. Cool?
Very cool. Could we have a quick recap of the upcoming dates, please?
Let me go to the
I just put it
page.
in there. Yeah, Monday the 19th, which is coming up next Monday, and then that following that Friday, which is the 23rd. So the 19th and the 23rd, Monday and
3
Friday.
days. Monday and Friday.
Looks like a dyslexic week: Wednesday, Monday, Friday.
Nice.
Sorry, guys, my wife is the one that scheduled it. She's dyslexic. I told her Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
We're doing this on a
Yeah, I
time
did that.
machine.
Well, that gives people time to absorb the replay and to take action, and that's the key thing. Action. Don't wait. That's the main thing standing between those who get roaring success and those who don't, because you can't have the success without the action. So go get it, guys.
And grab your workbook if you haven't. This is it right here. That's what I'm working from right here is the workbook and checklist. So you'll see usually all the ingredients, and then part 1, part 2, part 3. This is where we are now. We have finished part 1 through 3. Parts 1 and 2 really were what the initial kind of kickstart was about. This whole thing right here, this getting started part, that's pretty much part 1 and 2. And then the rest, you just go through. We'll go through. So we're going to go through all of part 4 in the next session and all of part 5 in the final session. Cool?
Yeah, and if anybody's like behind and afraid because they're non-techie or anything like that, don't worry. You can do it at your own pace. We have these step-by-step videos now, with these videos, so you can go back and go slower if you need to. It's fine. Just do the best you can. And the most important thing is that we have these step-by-step videos. So no longer
and they're all real time.
Yeah. So you can't get
Unedited,
stuck.
unedited.
Like, how'd you click on that? Where'd you go here?
Yeah, and because they're real time now, they're up to date. It's not like the button's going to have moved in the next 48 hours.
No promises.
Fingers crossed. Anyway, so
The feedback
I had to
again.
do something this week that overwhelmed the hell out of me, and that was unrelated to all of this. So don't panic. Don't panic. It's unrelated to all of this. I started a separate little thing where I needed to open a Google developers account, and the hoops they make you jump through and this huge list of things was so overwhelming. But I just did the first thing and then I left it for a bit. And then I came back and I did the next thing and then I left it for a bit. And before you know it, it's all been approved. And next I've got the Apple developers one to do. And I'm just going to do one thing and then just leave it for a bit. And if that's what you need to do, that's absolutely fine, because it's the same with everything that's new. Whether it's building an IKEA wardrobe, you just do the first next step and then the next step and then the next step. Or when you're learning to drive, you don't know what your hands are doing, your feet are doing. It's really awkward. But now that you've been doing it for a little while, if you do now drive, you know that you could be driving and you can be, texting and adjusting the radio and shaving and eating a bowl of cereal all at once if you wanted to. Not that I'm suggesting that you would, but that's just how all these new things are. Stop and just review the training. Do that one step. Don't look at the whole thing. Just do the next step. And that's
Totally. Awesome. All right, guys.
Yep.
Well, you heard it here. Do it. Get it done. We'll see you in the next session. This has been Littlefield, as always, reminding you to keep on rocking.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Be a rockstar in your life. Make the world your stage.
And as always, don't stop believing. Take action. maximum effort.